Hi there and welcome to Cache Rendezvous. I'm Emily Landeen.
And I'm Tamara Bradley. This week marks the 125th anniversary of Utah State University. So here at Cache Rendezvous, we've decided to mark the occasion by putting together a show in honor of all USU has to offer.
Well, 125 years is certainly a long time, and over the years, Utah State has changed quite a bit. Jenna Lynn is live to share some of the history of USU. Jenna?
Thanks, guys. Well, I don't know about you, but when I think of USU's history, I think of Old Main. So I went out to go and find out more about this building's past.
Many students at Utah State University have classes in Old Main, the very same building this school was founded in.
You know, the university started in 1888, and in 1890 classes opened, but in the spring of 1890 they started a building, and they started what is the south wing of Old Main, and that was the entire university, and the president lived in that, and all the classes were in that.
The very next year is when the school had the funds to build the central part of Old Main, but it wasn't until 1901 that they built the tower portion we know today.
So the next time you're walking to class, it may be interesting to think about how cool it is that students 125 years ago were walking down these very same hallways.
Though some things have stayed the same, there were some major differences in the school back then.
There was no tuition. There was a $5 entrance fee, and that's all you had to pay for the entire 4 years before you got your degree.
What? That was it? $5? That's ridiculous. Okay, well, I wish I went to school back then.
An inexpensive school career would be fantastic, but if you knew what the water system was like, you might think twice about wanting to live in that time after all.
They put in essentially an irrigation ditch, which ran from one side of the building to the next, and that was all their water. And so you wanted to be careful, obviously, where you drank the water before it went through the bathrooms and things like that.
There's no doubt that Old Main has a long and interesting history, something we almost didn't have the opportunity to experience on campus today after an electrical fire burned down a good portion of the building in 1983.
It burned, completely gutted that wing, but then there was smoke damage and fire damage throughout the building.
1989 to 1991 was spent renovating Old Main so USU could keep this symbolic building.
So this is a school that just has a really long tradition and a long history, and USU's been in this business for a long time.
There's no doubt that Old Main plays a significant role in USU's history. But something else I found out that you might find interesting is back in 1892, the very first game of football was played right here on the quad. And might I just say, we won, beating none other than University of Utah 12-0. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Jenna. One of the things that makes Utah State unique is all of the open space on campus.
But in the winter, getting from building to building can get pretty cold, so I went to find a way to stay warm without having to layer up.
Walking to class is getting colder than ever.
You just want it to be spring and be warm.
I definitely bundle up and then I walk through all the buildings.
And while some students are okay facing the cold, there's another way. But first, let's take the normal route.
Okay, we're over here at the TSC. We've got class in the Fine Arts Center. Let's go! We are here. Took a little over 9 minutes, which if you've got a warm coat and you're in a hurry, isn't too bad.
But if you're set on being warm and don't want to wear a ton of layers, I've got a route that keeps you inside almost the whole time.
All right, we are back at the TSC. This time we're going to stay inside as much as we can. It'll take longer, but it might be worth it. Let's go.
We start in the TSC with the Hub, a good place for breakfast if you've got time. Then outside for about 50 feet to get to the Biology and Natural Resources building. A lot of people don't know about the bridges on campus, like this one that gets you from the BNR to the Quiddy Library. Then it's outside for a bit and into the side door of the Science Engineering Research building. If you ever want to find out some of the cool science projects that go on at USU, this is the place to go. Then we cross the bridge into the engineering laboratory building. One more bridge leading us to the engineering building, then down the stairs and outside, getting us to class.
And we're here again, a little over 13 minutes, and I'm still warm.
So the choice is yours. It does take longer, but if you're set on being warm, take the inside route. You might just learn something new.
A lot of the places on the route are usually empty, so it could be a great place to hang out with friends or eat your lunch.
Departments at Utah State are known for supporting their students both in and outside the classroom, and that was certainly the case on Tuesday. Food, and lots of it. That's what the Huntsman School of Business Global Affairs Committee offered students at the Taste of the World event, and students packed in to get a bite. But it wasn't just about the food. The Global Affairs Committee wanted to get the word out about opportunities USU students have to travel the world with the Huntsman School of Business. And what better way to show that than with the international business students offering a piece of their country's food to students. For the committee and the students, it was a win-win situation.
We had a really good turnout today. Lots of students, professors came. Actually more than we had hoped.
It was all pretty good, and it was a lot better than I was expecting. You know, I was kind of coming in with the idea of, you know, students made some food for some activity, so quality would be all right. But actually, it looks like they really put some effort into it, and it all came out pretty good.
If you want to learn more about opportunities to travel abroad with the Huntsman School of Business, you can find a link to their page on our own website, aggietvnews.com.
I know one of the things that brings a lot of students to Utah State is the world-famous Aggie ice cream.
I know that's one of my favorite treats, but we wondered what makes it so good, so we sent out our Jason Borba to find out.
When Utah State was first founded in 1888, Aggie ice cream was born in the basement of Old Main. What started off as just regular ice cream has turned into something much bigger at USU.
It's part of the university itself. It's part of the traditions. It's part of what students experience here on campus, and that's what we try and maintain and keep it as.
USU prides itself in their ice cream, and for good reason. Aggie ice cream is made with 12% butterfat compared to just 10% for store-bought brands, which puts it in the premium ice cream category. Aggie ice cream has been called world famous, but why exactly is that?
The university and the students itself. So people come to Utah State University from all over the world. They enjoy Aggie ice cream while they're here. They remember it as part of their experience, and they take those memories back with them wherever they go to.
10 miles from the campus, USU's dairy cows like these produce the milk that is used for ice cream. The milk is then transported to the creamery where it is tested, the secret ingredients are added, the ice cream is packaged to be sold, and finally it's in your hands to enjoy.
Kind of an iconic part of the university is our ice cream with our Aggie heritage.
There are 26 flavors of Aggie ice cream to choose from, but 3 flavors stand out above the rest.
The most popular are Blue Mint and Cookie Dough and Bolt Tracks, which is actually my favorite.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You can't come to Utah State or stop in Logan without coming to Aggie ice cream. Just one bite, and you're hooked for life. My personal favorite, Aggie Bolt Tracks.
If you aren't in the mood for ice cream, the creamery has you covered with other varieties of foods.
We have some delicious sandwiches, hot dogs, taco salad, we've got drinks.
Jason Borba, Cache Rendezvous.
If you have any questions yourself about Aggie ice cream, you could go to the creamery or visit their website. The link is on our page at aggietvnews.com. Well, still to come on Cache Rendezvous, find out what has these Aggies making sweet music.
And we'll have your Cache Valley weather report.
Hey man, what's up?
Man, I just got out the club. I'm with 2 beautiful girls. We're drunk, man. We're so drunk.
You got a ride home or are you driving?
Yeah. I'm gonna push the Cavalier into gear.
Push the Cavalier into gear!
Yeah!
Oh no man, don't I'll drive. I'm on my way. Don't worry, I'll be there in a sec.
We would go running during their noon hour.
Welcome back. CNN reporter Jessica Ravitz stopped by Utah State last week.
While she was here, she sat down with me to share some advice and experiences. We see that you do in your line of work, you can get some very emotional stories. How do you separate your emotions from your work as a reporter?
Well, I separate it when I'm out in the field reporting and doing it and talking to these people. But I'd be lying if I said the emotions don't get to me. I mean, I've lost nights of sleep worrying about Aisha, the woman we talked about in the presentation. You can't not feel these things. And I'd be lying if I said I was successful at separating myself completely. The question is how you separate yourself enough to do what you need to do and ask the hard questions and be the kind of the ears for someone else to tell their story. I see that as a very big part of this work is just being the conduit for other people to get their messages out there. And when I'm out there interviewing people, that's who I am.
With the range of stories that you get to do, how have you felt like it's changed you as a person?
I'm not quick to judge anyone. Everyone's got something to say, and there's a story behind why people believe what they believe and how they move through the world. And I just feel like a sponge, and I just want to honor the different perspectives that are out there. And I think the more I'm out there, the more I realize how different people are and how everyone does have a story to tell.
What advice do you have for aspiring reporters, writers, producers?
To go after what you're passionate about, to be willing to look outside of the box, maybe go somewhere that isn't your comfort zone. But to be true to the type of work you want to do, and find a specialty. I think finding a little niche of the types of things you like to do really help. I think having done a lot of religion stories, kind of separated me from a lot of other people in the CNN digital newsroom, and that's nice. Like that's my a comfort zone, and it's something that I feel confident in doing in a way that many of my colleagues wouldn't. But everyone has their thing, and there are people in my newsroom who all they want to do is politics, or all they want to do is business, and you couldn't pay me enough to do either of those beats. So we all come at this work with different skill sets and interests, and just playing up who you are and what you're into.
Before Ravitz worked for CNN, she worked for the Salt Lake Tribune. She says that while she's enjoyed traveling and doing national stories, she does miss working local news in Utah. Before the break, we talked about Aggie ice cream.
But there's another famous Aggie tradition you can also take a bite of, and it started when a couple of USU engineering professors decided to take their talents from the classroom to the kitchen. In the hub on campus, there is a delicious tradition that is found on the menu at the Triple Bean Bakery. In 1998, engineering professors Marvin Halling and Joseph Caliendo came up with what is now known as the Marv and Joe sandwich. The idea surfaced when they came to the bakery and wanted some more than just a slice of bread. With the help of USU Food Services, the Marv and Joe became an official menu item in 2001. 12 years later, the sandwich is still a staple item for students eating at the hub.
We would go running during their noon hour, and when we would finish our run, we'd go over to the hub to get something to eat, and we just started sort of customizing a sandwich.
Both Marv and Joe were given a lifetime supply card by the university for free Marv and Joes, a card that Marv says he still uses once or 2 times a week. If you love being an Aggie, you'll love what Dr. Corey Evans, the chamber singers, and others from the music department are putting together.
In an old storage room, they found a handful of songs that haven't been sung in over 50 years, so they decided to bring them back to life and record them for the first time ever, including them on a CD that will feature many traditional Aggie songs. Victoria Carden has more.
These are members of the Chamber Singers Choir. They are practicing for the making of a CD called Aggie Songs.
And we thought it would be really fun to just do a recording that features all of these songs. And so we're going to sing them, songs that probably haven't been sung for 50, 60 years.
We get to record songs that I don't think have ever been recorded, which is really fun.
The CD will feature many classic fight songs and some songs by the marching band. It will have a little bit of history and will even feature an arrangement using some old bells that used to hang in Old Main.
You don't have to be able to make good music to appreciate it. And to appreciate it might make you a better Aggie.
So anybody who's an Aggie can download these songs and, you know, crank it on game day or something like that as they're driving in their car. We just thought it'd be a lot of fun to do. And the packaging will be really nice. We'll have like a bumper sticker in it and just some information, history on these songs. So I think it'll be kind of a neat, just sort of an Aggie souvenir, if you will. So yeah, we're excited about it.
Just having it be wonderful and knowing that you did it all together as a team, and it's just a great feeling.
Carden, Cache Rendezvous.
The Aggie Songs album will be available in the bookstore and on iTunes. While it isn't necessarily a piece of USU history, the penny has been around the entire time the university has, but it might not be around much longer.
Our Marie Titza found out what some people are doing with the pennies they aren't spending.
Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs.
Pennies are being used a lot more for crafts rather than for payment. People have made entire floors out of pennies, portraits out of pennies, and pennies you can wear. Using these pennies for fun might not be such a bad idea, considering they may not be produced by the government for much longer.
For the U.S. Mint to make these coins, they're losing a lot of money. Now, with a dollar, that's not a problem because a dollar, you know, is worth a lot more than the paper that goes into it. But with a coin, that actually becomes a problem.
A problem because it takes 2 cents to make every 1 penny, and according to some people, stopping production isn't a bad idea.
I think it's maybe a good thing to stop the production of it. I don't use them anyway. I usually look for like a coin machine and put all my coins in there and get out bills. So I'm a proponent of it, I guess you could say.
You know, I don't even really use a penny when I think about it. I mean, I don't even say pennies. Like, for me, I don't know, it's kind of clutter, I guess.
Imagine buying one thing with a ton of pennies.
That's a lot to carry and a lot to count.
You'd have to pick up 725 pennies in an hour to really meet minimum wage. So it just gives you a perspective of how little value a penny has. So by getting rid of the penny, we're not really getting rid of something that has, you know, we won't miss it.
But will coins like the penny actually be missed?
You know, maybe so. Maybe I'll have to like scrapbook one or something.
No matter what you decide to do with your pennies, people have shown they can be used for almost anything. Marie Titza, Cache Rendezvous.
The Canadian government stopped producing their penny this year, and President Obama has been trying to stop the production of the U.S. penny since 2008.
Well, Eric Jungblatt is outside live with our weather forecast. Eric, I woke up to snow this morning. Please tell me there isn't more. Things are coming up on Cache Sports.
NFL scouts are in Logan today. We'll tell you why they're here and who they might be interested in.
Routes with a runner on first base.
Thanks for taking over when it was
Big guy comes out.
Yes.
Hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ? We could be twins. Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Hey y'all, Courtney Robinson here again with your ATV Sports starting now. NFL scouts were in town at USU's Pro Day today, checking out your Aggie football players as they search for the best of the best. Players competed today in hopes of impressing scouts and taking their talents to the next level. Kerwin Williams and Will Davis were two players everyone had their eyes on after their top performances at the Combine in Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. Several players ran routes, threw passes, and did workouts showing off their speed, skill, and agility. Matt Austin here was another standout who was turning heads with his time. Kerwin Williams said he felt good about his performance this morning, and particularly it was a little bit different than his workout in Indy.
Drills that I hadn't done before and that weren't at the Combine, and that was good to see because it gives me some more stuff to work on. So I think I did pretty good today. But you always can improve.
Men's basketball is back in the Spectrum against Texas State tonight and then UTSA on Saturday. The Aggies will honor their lone senior, Keyshawn Reed. Reed, shown here earlier in the season, added Aggie flash with dunks and big post plays. His time at USU was cut short after he went down with a torn ACL against New Mexico State. Before his injury, Reed averaged 12 points and 6 rebounds per game and credits his performance to his Aggies 2 coach.
He told me that I'm too good of a player to be so inconsistent sometimes, and I kind of took it personal. So I made sure this year I was just make sure I bring the effort and energy as much as I can every play. So that's what I tried to do.
After the women are heading to Sin City for the WAC championship.
Thanks, Courtney. When we come back, we'll take a look at one of USU's oldest and most popular traditions. Stay tuned.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
All your cares are over. Not so fast there, pupil. You still need to decide on a career.
Don't worry about that, announcer guy. Come on into the Career Center, located in the University Inn, and discuss your goals and concerns with advisors who are here to help you get into the fields that you're interested in. There are many resources, including counseling, a career coach, publications, professional interviews, and much more to help you get that job. The Career Center, 797-777. The Copy Center on the first floor of the TSC is open Monday through Friday, 7 to 6 for all your document needs. Let the trained staff help you print important documents. Services include binding, color copies, custom gifts from your favorite photos, and last-minute items like pencils, report covers, and especially Scantrons. The Copy Center. We're here to help.
It's a tradition almost 100 years in the making, and it calls for some late-night kissing. Becoming a true Aggie is one of the oldest and most well-known traditions at USU.
Cache Rendezvous' Brandon Fonda tracked down some of Utah State's oldest true Aggies and is live with the details. Brandon?
Hi guys, well tomorrow I won't go into all the details about the actual kissing, but I will show you what the students think of becoming a true Aggie and how it all got started.
This is True Aggie Night, and to become a true Aggie, 2 people must kiss at midnight on a full moon around the A block at the Old Main Hill.
True rules of being a true Aggie are that you are supposed to kiss around the A block at midnight on a full moon, or we have special occasions for homecoming and A week. People think that you have to kiss on the A, and that that's the more important thing, but it's actually supposed to be kissing at midnight.
According to students, the tradition is fun, but kissing is only one of the many benefits of becoming a true Aggie.
I feel like if it hadn't happened, then my experience would be incomplete.
Just because it's a USU tradition, and I don't do a whole lot on campus, but I want to be able to say that I've done some things, and there's a lot of really cool people who have that status.
Everyone loves being at Utah State, and being a true Aggie is just like a check mark on like what making the most of your Aggie experience is about.
Becoming a true Aggie is a campus-wide tradition, but this wasn't always so. About 100 years ago, midnight kisses around the A block was done by only one club here at USU. As to how it became a tradition done by everybody is still a mystery. The Beano Club started the tradition in 1916 as a rite of passage.
They formed it out of concrete, and it's been on campus ever since 1916.
While pictures of the Beano Club do exist, the only pictures or references from the student body practicing the tradition are from the early 70s to now.
I think it probably started later. Obviously, it was around in 1972, so at some point it became you know, a fashionable thing, and it's like a lot of things, they kind of catch on.
From the A block's origin up until the 70s, it is unknown as to when the true Aggie tradition spread to everyone else.
I briefly spoke with Aggie alum Lewis Livingston, who is 90 years old and came here in 1942. And he doesn't recall the tradition as being done by everybody here on campus, so there's kind of a gray area in between the 40s and the 70s as to when the tradition actually went campus-wide. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brandon. The next opportunity to become a true Aggie will be March 27th at midnight on the Block A by Old Main.
So Tamara, are you a true Aggie?
You know what? I'm not yet. Haven't checked that one off my list yet.
Oh, I haven't either, and I'm a senior, so I think I've got to get that one going.
Yep, we better get it done pretty soon.
Yeah, it should happen. Well, we'll see you after spring break with another Cache Rendezvous.
We leave you today with some of the music from the celebration of USU's first comprehensive campaign. Have a great day, Cache Valley.
So bring your good time.